Hi, this is Sharon Lewis. I wanted to talk to you today about maximizing your benefits by navigating Arizona's refundable tax credits. And this is for individuals. Arizona tax credits are actually a way for you to get money back from the government for taxes that you've already paid for that particular calendar year. So I want to talk to you first a little bit about credits versus deductions. A deduction is something that reduces your taxable income. So if your income was $50,000 and you had a deduction of $10,000, that would reduce your income from $50,000 down to $40,000. And then your tax is calculated on that $40,000. A credit actually looks at what your taxes due are. So say your taxes are $2,000 and you paid a credit of $500, you would get back $2,500, or it would reduce the amount of tax you owed of $2,000 down to $1,500. So it affects the end result versus the taxable result. Okay. Arizona, so really we look at it as a deduction is things like your itemized deductions, such as your property taxes, medical expenses, mortgage interest, etc. A credit is some of these public school tax credits, the private school tax credit, the solar energy credit, or even what a lot of us are familiar with is the alternative fuel or battery operated vehicles such as your Teslas or something like that. All right. So what I want to talk to you first about is the individual tax credit, which is the public school credit, charities that assist the working poor. They're known as the QCOs. The private school, private education credit, and there's actually two of those. There's the foster children credit, which is the QFCOs. There's the military relief fund, solar energy credit, and then taxes paid to another state. That's if you happen to work in two different locations or have income that's derived from another state where you've actually had to pay, there could be a credit available to you. I'm only going to talk to you about the first five. The remaining two are more complicated, and I don't want to bore everybody to death with those. So contributions to public schools. This credit is available to any public or charter school. The contribution limits are $400 for married filing jointly or $200 for individuals. The contributions can be made anytime during the calendar year or up until April 15th of the following year to affect the prior year's taxes. The donations can be made to a sports program, to an after-school program, or to a specific child, i.e. if your child is in a band and you wanted to make a donation to a band trip or something like that, it could be donated towards that in particular. Carryover is available for these credits. Now, payments made to PTOs or PTAs do not qualify for this credit. This payment must go to the school itself. You need to have a receipt for this credit to take advantage of it. And school lunches do not apply, so they don't count towards this credit. The way it works is you could donate, say, up to $200 or up to $400 if you're married filing jointly to El Dorado, and that would reduce the amount of taxes you owe to Arizona, or in reverse, it could actually increase your refund because it reduced the amount of taxes that you needed to pay. The next credit is the Qualified Charitable Organizations Credit, known as the QCOs. These organizations must qualify every year. So if you donated to one in the past and they're not on the list for the next year, you cannot get the credit for them. Okay. There's a list of the qualifying organizations available at azdor.gov. The contribution limits are $800 married filing jointly or $400 for single. Contributions can be made anytime during the year up until April 15th of the following year and be applied to the prior year. Carryover is available. These payments must be made to the Arizona office. As an example, Ronald McDonald's house is on here. If you were to make the donation to their corporate office instead of to the Arizona office, you would not get the credit. The payment would need to go to an Arizona location. At the bottom of the slide are 4 organizations that I've worked with in the past that provide resources to Arizona families. Chandler Compadres provides a lot of assistance to children in the Chandler area. Foster Arizona Housing Project provides housing for the teenagers and young adults who have left foster care but aren't quite ready to be on their own. We also have Catholic Charities, Community Services. They provide food banks and other support for families, and you don't have to be Catholic to receive that money. And then Ronald McDonald House. Now, on the website, azdor.gov, there is a list of probably over 600 or more qualifying charities. So take a look at that list if you can to find one that aligns with what your passion is. Qualifying foster care organizations. These are known as QFCOs. The contribution limits are $1,000 married filing jointly or $500 single. Again, the list of organizations is available at azdor.gov. Contributions can be made anytime during the year up to April 15th of the following year. And again, carryover is available. This organization, again, has to qualify every year that they've spent a certain amount of money on foster children and their families. So that list is updated annually. 2 organizations that I highly recommend is Arizona or ASA Now. They provide advocacy support and assistance to foster children and the parents who have taken them into their homes, and provides all sorts of great, everything from education to training to after school care, things like that, or after school tutoring and stuff like that, because some of these kids are behind. So it provides a lot of great assistance to these children and their families. Arizona Friends of Foster is also another great foundation. They provide extracurricular funding for these children to be able to do the things that they wouldn't necessarily get to do in foster care, because nobody's going to really sign them up for ballet classes or swimming classes or something like that. But Arizona Friends of Foster actually pays for that kind of stuff. All right. The private school tuition organization. Now, this amount changes every year, where the other ones are pretty much stable. This one has gone up to $2,609 married filing jointly for 2023 and $1,307 for single. The contributions, again, can be made anytime during the year up to April 15th of the following year. And this contribution can be directed towards a certain child, just not your child. So if you're sending a child to a private school, you can't make the contribution and get a reduction in your tuition to that private school. However, you can make the contribution on behalf of someone else's child going to a private school. This one does allow for carryovers of unused credits. All right. Again, there is a list available on the Arizona Department of Revenue website, or you can reach out. Now, you cannot make a contribution directly to the schools themselves in these instances. They actually have to go through an organization called school tuition organization, and there's a variety of them out there. So keep an eye out for that, especially at the December time of year. You'll see lots of advertisement for the different organizations that accept these credits on behalf of these programs. All right, Arizona Military Relief Fund. This one here allows contributions of $400 for married filing jointly or $200 single. There's no carryover available. Before making an end of the year contribution, please go to www.dvs.az.org/MFRF. It has an Arizona line item in the budget that they're only allowed to accept $1 million annually. So that's why you need to go to that website to make sure that they're still accepting donations. If you should contribute and they've already maxed out or reached that $1 million, they will send you back your check and you will not get the contribution credit for that. Distributions of these funds require it be for an Arizona military veteran or an Arizona military family of a veteran. You must complete an online application and be approved. There is a maximum lifetime distribution of $10,000. This provides needed assistance to military families who are struggling with some sort of financial distress, and can provide support for those families through this trying time. So this is actually one of my favorite contributions funds. The requirements to take these contributions. Number one, you must actually get a receipt. If you do not have a receipt for your tax credit, it is not deductible. There are codes in 2023, actually even before, that they started putting on these that we need or are needed on your TurboTax to be able to fill out your to get this credit. Those codes are super important. If you donate more than the credited amount, it cannot be carried over to the next year. So say that you donated $500 to the public schools. The credit limit is $400. If you donated $500, you do not get to carry over that additional $100. You only get the credit for that $400. That $100 will go on your deductions, which is a different process. In-kind donations do not qualify. And to give you an example, one of my clients donated several computers to one of her children's schools several years ago. In doing so, she no longer qualified for the credit because it was an in-kind donation. If she had donated money to the school and had the school make the purchase of the computers, then it would have been deductible for the tax credit for her to be able to get that. So keep that in mind. All right. Hopefully this gives you the information that you need to be able to donate to El Dorado High School or any other of these tax credits and take advantage of it. My name again is Sharon Lewis. I can be reached at this email at sharon@lbstax.com, or Paul is right here with you. Paul can be reached at paul@lbstax.com should you have any further questions. Thank you so much and have a great day.